This is my African vacation. This is where it all began, Cape Town, South Africa. Next, I went to the Castle of Good Hope. The Castle of Good Hope is a star fort built in the 17th century in Cape Town, South Africa, originally located on the coastline of Table Bay. Now I am on my way to Camps Bay, South Africa. I'm finally here. This is Camps Bay. Camps Bay is a wealthy suburb of Cape Town, South Africa. In summer, it attracts a large number of foreign visitors as well as South Africans. The next thing I did was went on an aerial cable tour on Table Mountain. This is the part I didn't like because I was up really high and I don't appreciate being up that high in the air. That evening, I left the group to go to the Stadium of Cape Town. The Stadium of Cape Town holds 55,000 people. That's a lot of people. I went to go see Brazil play Africa. That was the best soccer game I've ever seen. The final score ended up being 2-1 Brazil. I was kind of mad that Africa lost, but it happens. Next, I wanted to visit the most famous Kalahari Desert. The Kalahari Desert by day has a scorching heat of 104 degrees Fahrenheit. By night, it can get down to 23 degrees. Since it was so close, next we went to Kalahari Transfrontier Park. It is one of the nicest resorts in South Africa. After we got all settled in, I wanted to tell you guys about the cool wildlife. This is an oryx gazelle. It is seen a lot because it lives pretty much anywhere there is grass, and there's a lot of grass in Africa. This is a South African lion. She was curious to see what a camel was. There was not too many lions because they are an endangered species in Africa. This is an action shot of an ostrich running across the plain. Next, I headed north to Chobe National Park. Okay, this was the best part to me because I went on an African safari ride, which I've always wanted to go on. It's one of my biggest dreams. Here are some of the images I captured on the ride. Here's a herd of those gazelles again. Here's a hungry leopard resting after a long day of hunting. Here are two lionesses playing. I'm guessing they might be siblings. Here are the same two lionesses from the last picture, except they got a little curious. Here is an elephant bathing itself in the water hole. Next, I headed up the Zambezi River through Malawi, Tanzania, Burundi, and Rwanda to the Campbell Forest National Park. Once I made it there, I've received a phenomenal rainforest tour. Here are some of the pictures and fun facts I've learned. Campbell National Park contains one of the loveliest and most varied tracts of tropical forest in Uganda. The forest covered interspread with patches of grassland and swamp dominates the northern and central parts of the park on an elevated plateau. The park is home to a total of 70 mammal species, most famously 13 species of primates, including the chimpanzee. It also contains over 375 species of birds. Okay, this was the most beautiful part of my trip, Victoria Falls, which flows through Zimbabwe. This was the best part about being there. I went bungee jumping off a very high bridge. Next, I also went whitewater rafting. I thought that was really cool. Through the slippery rapids of Victoria Falls. I was kind of sad to leave that national park, but you gotta see everything on a vacation. So, I went to the city of Nairobi to see what the urban city was like. Passing through Nairobi, I came across a shanty town. It was horrible having to see how these people had to live. But throughout the city, there was approximately 3 million people. In this population, over half the people had to live in that kind of shanty town. This city takes over 269 square miles. Next, I did something pretty crazy. I went to Mogadishu, Somalia, which is very dangerous because of terrorism. This kind of sums up the terrorism part in a nutshell. This is pretty much the only reason I came to Somalia. Shanghai. the old Forbidden City. I think it's beautiful. That's why I came to Somalia. To finish up my trip, I went far, far west to Timbuktu. This is only one of the many priceless artifacts they have there. This book dates back to the 12th century. This is the Jingiwerber Mosque that was built in 1327 as a learning center for people who live there.